Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome into the DFS Minute brought to you by DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy sports. All tools, all coaching, everything included. Coupon code CHOP, CHOP, earns 20% off each month you remain a member. If you are the type of player that wants coaching, that wants advice, that wants somebody to talk to help you maybe make sure that you're on the right place, this is the place for you. And I say that because this is also the subject of the DFS Minute. I'm your buddy Chapadong, and I am the senior coach and contributor here inside DFS Army. And one of the things that I probably specialize in and have for years is helping people get their minds right. And this isn't about me, this is about our community. Right now, our community is hitting on all cylinders. We are obviously projections and data and stuff like that is on point. But more importantly, the way that we are diving in and teaching our members. And there's no better example than just the past 11 or 12 hours or so. It kind of started last night, and I'll show you a little bit of our coaching forums here in Slack. It started a little bit last night around 11:30 or so when we had a member kind of talk a little bit. Another one popped in and said, "Can you help me find some smaller entry stuff?" And that's kind of what I'm going to go through today too, as well as helping you find that more of those more winnable contests and kind of talk a little bit about those. But what ensued was a 12-hour conversation off and on that involved our CEO, involved a lot of our bigger coaches, NBA, other coaches from golf, from hockey, from other places. We're jumping in here to help one player build his game and reset his system. And post after post after post, going all the way to 7, 8, 9 o'clock this morning, has been about dictating what contest should we play, where is our advantage, what about GPPs, what about cash games, what about this, what about that, what about dodging sharks, what site, what this, what that. And this is just what we do as a community. We give to our members. We use our experience in the DFS industry and we teach any experience level how to get off on the solid foot. This gentleman has been playing for 5+ years and did not realize that our community was that into helping him. He didn't realize it until he experienced it himself. And I got to tell you, this is what we've done for the past 5 years. This is what I have been helping a small core of coaches spearhead the charge in doing, is teaching you how to get better at these games. Most people, I don't think they believe this, or they think maybe it's a little bit too good to be true, but it's just a fact. I've got hundreds and hundreds of testimonials from people saying it's the real deal. These guys help you win. These guys help you get better. You can see from some pros that pay their bills that are members and not even staff. They jump in and they help too. Going to these tournaments, the smaller entry tournaments, is kind of where the conversation stopped and where I wanted to start bringing this video to you. And when I dive in to FanDuel, for example, if I was an NBA player, what would I do when it comes down to finding these winnable contests? Because let's talk about an analogy that I broke out for people earlier today. My father, years and years ago before he passed away, would go to Las Vegas. And I talked to him one time and said, "Dad, I don't understand how these casinos enjoy paying out these 10 and $20 million progressive jackpot slots." And my dad said, "Are you freaking kidding me? They love paying those out. It's great marketing. It's great advertising. Everybody chases the hot slot machine to that casino, and then it fills up with a whole bunch of people." And I guess I didn't think about it in sort of that reverse. And I don't think a lot of the general population does either, unless they have somebody explain it to them, that that's a marketing ploy. And it may seem obvious to you now that I said it, but it may not have seemed obvious to you when it didn't seem obvious to me, 25 years ago, that I don't want to pay out that big money. I don't want you to win. No, the casinos do want you to win because the casinos realize that they keep, what is it, 8 to 10 cents on every dollar that you drop in there, and that's what keeps the lights on in Vegas. That's what pays for all of your comps. That's what pays for a lot of the revenue up and down that strip. And my dad called a couple hours later after we had that conversation, and he said, "You know what, Chip? I'm sitting in here working at my desk at in the hotel room, and your stepmom and I don't have the room we usually have. We usually overlook the strip in one of those comped rooms or whatever. But tonight we got double booked and we got sent kind of into the back of the hotel and we're overlooking the alley. And I thought, no big deal because I had to work anyway. So I'm sitting out here at my desk and I'm working. And I looked out the window and I saw a Brinks truck pull up and it was empty and it left full. And I thought, wow, that was quite a bit of money there. And not 10 minutes later, another one pulled up and it left full. And then another 10 minutes later, another one pulled up and it left full. And that happened for about 2 hours before he called me. And he said every 10 minutes, a Brinks truck pulls up empty and leaves full. They're not worried about that $12 million progressive slot payout. They're not worried about that in the least because they are bringing more money. And it brings me to another point, which is chasing the hot hand. You see people do this all the time. They chase the hot stock in their 401k at your work. They chase the hot team in Vegas when they're betting on sports, whether it's the Dallas Cowboys or the Pittsburgh Steelers or whoever. They chase the hot player, and they do it in DFS. They chase the hot player. So and so had 3 great games in a row. He's obviously going to have a great 4th game in a row. So I'm going to pay the premium prices for him on FanDuel and DraftKings and roster him, and then they kick themselves and wonder why it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because your hot stock cools off, your hot site cools off, your hot team, your hot player, they all cool off. They go up and down, up and down. So chasing that hot stock or hot whatever isn't going to pay either. You need to learn a method that is independent of just the group think or the lemming mindset of, oh my God, this guy said play this guy, or oh my God, this guy said play this guy. You need to learn a system that's going to work for you, and that's what we help you do. But number 2, you need to be in these contests that are actually winnable. You can't win the $100,000 or 100,000 man tournament very often. Only 1 out of 100,000 people ever does it. It's like winning the lottery. I think we all know that, but I think you get flooded in the industry with seeing all the big wins. And a lot of that is a site proving to you that they win. But a lot of that is also a little bit of a false narrative that if you don't think a little bit deeper or kind of to that next level, you get caught up thinking that if I just go here, I'm going to win that next big tournament. And that's not necessarily the case. That guy isn't going to ever be heard from again. He hit the lottery. What you need to do is you need to get good at getting close. And if you get good at getting close, you hear me talk about this if you follow my videos, you hear me talk about getting good at getting in the top half, and then the top third, and then the top 20%, top 10%. If you can build a lineup that consistently gets you into the top 1% of tournaments, let's compare again what that means. If I look at a normal GPP, so 46,768 people, right? Top 1% of that is move the decimal place over 2 spots, 467th place. So if I look at what 467th place gets me on a $7 entry, 467th place gets me $40, right? On a $7 entry, that's 5 times my buy-in. That's it. 5x. Turn $7 into $40 by placing in the top 1%, beating 99 out of every 100 people that enter this contest, and I only got $40 back. That's not going to grind you up a bankroll. To grind up a bankroll, you got to hit this, or at least right in here every so often, or you're not going to make it. It's not a winnable tournament because you have to beat 46,000 people to do it. Let's go somewhere else, and let's dive into these. Let me sort this by entry fee so I can find one quickly. Let's sort into these 100-man tournaments here. Top 1% out of a 100-man tournament means you win it. If you build a top 1% quality lineup, you are in line to possibly win this tournament and get $25 back on the dollar. Would you rather get $5 back on the dollar, it's the same 5x, 7 into 40, or would you rather get $25 back, 1 into 25? Which one's going to build your bankroll faster? Is it easier to beat 100 people than it is 45,000? Are your odds better at winning this tournament than the 45,000? Yeah, but I want the $100,000 or the $50,000. Guess what? You ain't going to win it. Not often. I'm not saying don't play those. I'm saying build them into what you already do, but put the bulk of your play in these more winnable tournaments. 20 people's easier to beat than 100. 5 people's easier to beat than 20. Okay, that's one way to go about finding these winnable contests is get into these leagues, get into these tournaments that pay out half or a third of the field, your multipliers, your double ups, your 50-50s, your triple ups, etc. These are the contests where the bulk of your bankroll should be because you don't have to be as perfect to win money. Okay, now if I was playing tournaments, where would I go? At these levels, these cheap levels, I'm not going to find much. I'm going to have to start scrolling down. 297 people, that's okay. I know I only win $25 for beating 300 people. I would rather win $25 for beating 100 people, but Same thing. You get a few shots at this, 6, 7, 8 shots. If you want to MME a little bit or build 3 to 5 lineups, this could be a tournament for you. You can win these. 300 people is winnable. But let's go even further. You want to win just one ticket, beat 15 people, and turn it into a $12. That's one way to go about it. You'd take the $12. You'd go throw it in one of the bigger, Santa Slams or something like that. Maybe you get lucky twice in a row. But I would still be, if I'm really, really focused on grinding up my bankroll, I'd be looking for a tournament that paid money that was under, say, 1,000 people. And if I have to keep cruising down 3 into 1,800, that's a no experience player. Why do you think that is? It's because they're more winnable. 396 for $3, that's a winnable tournament there. What would you turn $3 into? 100, so 33x. If I'm top 1% in that, I'm in fourth place, 3.9. Fourth place is 40x. $3 into 40 is 12x, 13x. It's better than the 5x you were getting in that massive GPP. So you're going to win more money there for the same caliber lineup. If you produce that 1% lineup, you're going to win what? Instead of 5x, 13x, almost triple the money. What's going to help your bankroll more? Obviously, it's not as sexy. You're not winning $1 million. But when you get down in here into these bigger buy-in tournaments, $12 entry, 49 players. You want to build your bankroll? How often can you beat 50 people? You only need a top 2% lineup to have a shot at winning that. You turn 12 into $125. That's 10x. 10 times your buy-in for building a top 2% lineup. All that means is that is a bankroll builder right there. Scroll down a little bit further, 15 into 3 max into 600, okay, maybe, but 25 into 47 people, 12 into 49 people, now we're talking. 25 into 70 people, now we're talking. I'd rather see you play these than these silly $1 tournaments with thousands and thousands and thousands of people in them. Let the fish play these. You build your bankroll through cash games, 50-50s, triple ups, double ups, small leagues and whatnot. Keep grinding your bankroll up until your bankroll can handle playing these $12 and $25 GPPs. And then you're going to continue grinding a bankroll, continue building your bankroll to the point that you can then build, let's say I've got 100 50-50s or 100 head-to-heads going out there today. I've got another 10 or 20 leagues going, and then I've got, say, $25 of my budget left over for a GPP, and I want to throw it in one of those grindable, winnable GPPs, and now I've got an extra $7 sitting out there. Now take that shot. Take that shot at that great big $45,000 player tournament. Why? Or 45,000 person tournament. Why? Because that now is going to help you really push your lineup over the top, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect. If you are perfect and you win that tournament, great, but you don't have to be perfect to make a bunch of money and recuperate the $7 that you threw after the lottery ticket. Don't use your whole bankroll to chase that $7 tournament. Use just a small portion of your bankroll. Cover your ass in all of these other contests so that when those win and you don't create the perfect lineup, you're still grinding up your bankroll. That's the advice that we give our members inside DFS Army all the time. That's why you see us on leaderboards. That's why you see us winning bigger tournaments, as we teach our players how to slowly build to that point where they don't just take one shot and redeposit, but they take indefinite shots at these tournaments because they're doing it systematically with a proven approach. If that's the kind of stuff you're looking for, then you need us. Coupon code CHOP, CHOP, triggers that 20% off discount. And once again, DFSArmy.com is the place to get all of the coaching, all the tools, every sport for one single price. Hope to see you on the inside, guys. This has been today's DFS Minute. Talk to you tomorrow.